Welcome to the 2015 Greenville County Schools Teacher of the Year Breakfast. What a great way to start a new school year. We're honored today to have among us Teachers of the Year from each school, as well as many special guests.
It's truly an honor to share thoughts at this annual Teacher of the Year Breakfast. As Teachers of the Year, you represent the best of our profession. You are leaders in the building. You are leaders among your peers. I encourage you in your role to extend your sphere of influence beyond the classroom and into school-wide leadership activities. These activities help to shape your school's culture into one of learning and growing together. Activities such as talking with colleagues about practice, sharing your knowledge with others, observing one another while engaged in practice, and probably most important, rooting for one another's success. In Greenville County Schools, we are centered for student academic success. This focus on student-centeredness not only ensures we plan for the success of every child, but also that all educators take an active role to create environments where students feel they can be successful. This cannot be done without the efforts and commitment of knowledgeable and caring adults. I'm reminded of a quote by Chaim Gnat demonstrating the power of teachers, especially important as we prepare to welcome students to a new school year. I've come to a frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It's my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess a tremendous power to make a child's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated and a child humanized or dehumanized. Teachers, your influence is great, as is the legacy you are leaving in Greenville County. May you continue to use your gifts to educate, to inspire, to touch, and to uplift future generations of service-oriented, caring citizens. Congratulations on this most prestigious honor and best wishes for a successful school year. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask all of those individuals who have been a Greenville County Teacher of the Year who are here with us today to please stand to be recognized. Now to the 2015-16 Teachers of the Year. We salute them for their dedication and for their service to the more than 73,000 students in Greenville County Schools. This year we have 96 representatives from our schools and centers. These outstanding educators are seated in our audience and will be receiving plaques at their tables. Would all the 15-16 Teachers of the Year representing these 96 locations please stand so that we might recognize you at this time.
First, I want to once again thank Mr. Royster and the Board of Trustees, Sandra Welch, the Teacher of the Year Selection Committee, the communications team, and of course our sponsors for organizing such a spectacular celebration and recognition of the outstanding teachers in our district. Thank you also for the opportunity you have given me to serve as your representative during this past year. To say it has been a blast would be a tragic understatement. This experience has brought me once again to a place that educators value most, and that is a place of learning. Please allow me to share a few thoughts of the things that I learned. I learned that teachers across our district and across our state work together to find new and ingenious ways to reach their students. Of course, we see it in our own schools, but the collaboration on a broader scale is really quite a sight to behold. I learned that the morale of all who work in South Carolina education can be immediately improved by one elected official telling you that she values you and means it. I learned that Mr. Royster and the Board of Trustees have a clear and positive vision for our school district and all its students, that they listen closely to what the stakeholders have to say, and they care enough to painstakingly weigh their decisions with a student-centered mindset. I learned how local and state legislators impact the educational system and the importance of establishing a personal relationship with and educating these elected officials on the positive things that happen in your classroom. I learned that there are brilliant people and organizations in our district and state whose purpose is to advocate for you and for your students. And collaborating with them has been a real treat, and I'm beyond excited that I get the chance to continue in this capacity for years to come. To all the teachers of the year, you have been given a gift. Not only have your peers chosen you as the best of the best, but you also have been given a platform. You have been given a voice. Use it. Celebrate your profession. Do not be afraid to tell people that you have the best students in the best school district in South Carolina. Please accept the invitations that you receive to attend teacher forum events where you will be educated and inspired. As excited as I am and always have been to be a teacher, this experience convinced me even more that I am in the right profession, one that makes a difference and one that changes lives forever. You make a difference. Never, ever forget that. Thank you again for the opportunity to address you today, and I truly look forward to seeing the great things that you would do this school year. Thank you.
Before we announce our new Greenville County Teacher of the Year and recognize the top Teacher of the Year candidates this year, I have the honor of recognizing two emerging Teachers of the Year. The Emerging Teacher of the Year program is sponsored by the Greenville Federal Credit Union, and it recognizes teachers who have completed their second or third year of teaching and have done an outstanding job. Awards are presented annually to one elementary level teacher and to one secondary level teacher. The teacher selected as the Elementary Emerging Teacher of the Year has the ability to see the heart of every child. She transforms learning by holding her students to high expectations while providing trust and encouragement. She uses a reading binder filled with data to set meaningful goals for all students, to accurately track their progress, and to adjust her instruction to meet each of their individual needs. She also uses social contracts designed by students to allow them to decide how they want to treat each other, and anchor charts posted around her classroom to review strategies students have previously learned. She has intentionally designed her classroom community to put the ownership of learning in her students' hands as they work collaboratively in small groups. Please join me now in congratulating and recognizing second grade teacher Molly McDaniels from Berea Elementary, our Emerging Elementary Teacher of the Year. It's now time to recognize the other Emerging Teacher of the Year from the secondary level. This outstanding educator meets the challenges of education in today's classroom with determination and skill. She is compassionate, prepared, and accommodating to students with various learning needs. She breaks down her assignments into manageable chunks and gets her tests, quizzes, and other assignments translated for her non-English speaking students in ESL classes. She teaches students in her freshman transition class, note-taking, and organization skills, and employs engaging activities in the classroom to help students see the relevance of a subject's content. In her first year of teaching, her end-of-course pass rate was an exceptional 90%. She has positioned herself already as a leader in the school to the extent that other teachers and administrators forget that she is not a veteran teacher. Please join me in congratulating science teacher Amy Hegarty from Greenville Senior High Academy as our secondary emerging teacher of the year. Let's now turn our attention to our Teacher of the Year top 10 finalists.
Hello, I'm Alice Bradley. I teach 7th grade English at Ralph Chandler Middle School. I try to incorporate literature circles and Socratic seminars in my classroom. And even though there are two different kinds of discussion, they're both student-driven. The students drive the conversation. They drive what we're going to talk about, and I'm just a fly on the wall. With literature circles, they're in small groups, and they're all kind of talking at once. It's usually doing it, they're usually talking about a novel that they've read in the classroom. And usually with my literature circles, they create the rubric, and then they use that rubric to assess themselves. They write a reflection, and then I use their reflection plus my observation to create their grade, and so they have input on their grade.
I'm Amy Burnett, and I teach mathematics at Berea High School. Has something that I've taught or something that you've learned impacted you outside of academics? Has it impacted you in a way that you can apply it to your life? And so when a student returns 10 years after I taught them and said, I just graduated from my master's program in statistics, that's a huge return on investment for me. And so it's not quantitatively measurable in that aspect. While the grade book is quantitatively measurable, the return on investment is much more qualitative. And of the return on investments that I've seen, the student who sends me an email and says, hey, you know, I just finished my first math class in college and I didn't fail it, you know, that's wonderful. Or even better when they say, and I made an A. You know, and those aren't things that someone observing my classroom is going to know. That's not something someone looking at my grades is going to know. But that's something that I know. And that's where the joy of the return is.
I'm Kristen Danko from Bells Crossing Elementary School, and I'm a 4th grade teacher. When I'm making my lesson plans, what I like to do is I try to plan for all those different levels of intelligence that are sitting before me. One of the ways that I really like to do that is by looking at diverse different types of literature and multitudes of different genres available to us. And I really try to bring the community and bring my families of the students that are before me into the classroom to share. Another thing that I really like to do is use Skype. And we do field trips with museums all across the United States. And we've also had a wonderful experience being able to Skype with some of the authors of some of the books that the children enjoy in our room. And that is an incredible experience because when they're sitting there holding that book and it's one of their favorites and they're talking with the person that wrote it, it encourages them. And some of their writing is just incredible then because it just got to be real to them. It wasn't just a name and a face. It was a real person.
My name is Shiree Turner Fowler. I am a kindergarten teacher at Hollis Academy. I teach in a school that receives Title I funds, and 96% of the students in my class receive free or reduced lunch. And research is constantly telling me that the majority of my students are in urgent situations. Research tells me that my students have heard 30 million less words by the age of 4. It tells me that my students will enter high school 3 years behind most of their peers. It tells me that the students in my class are 5 times less likely to graduate from high school and enter college. So because of their urgent situation, I have to teach with urgency. And the way I use urgency in my classroom is by allowing urgency to become a part of who I am as a teacher.
Hi, I'm Tracy Gay, 5th grade teacher at Crestview Elementary School. I think that the most important ingredient to motivating children is building a relationship with those children and making them believe that their presence in your classroom or their role in the classroom family is important and essential. And part of helping them to believe that is that relationship building component. And I think that I've always thought that children don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. And taking the time to build a personal relationship with them, once they know that your goal is to help them succeed and that you will do whatever it takes to help them succeed, then I think they will do almost anything to please you.
Hi, I'm Stacy Hall at Riverside Middle School, and I'm the 6th grade school counselor. I believe that every student has the potential for success. That success may be defined in different ways. It could be academic success, it could be athletic success, creative success, but I think part of my responsibility as a school counselor is to help those students identify that. And one of those ways is looking at learning styles. We do work in the classroom. I work on an individual basis with students, tapping into those learning styles, academic challenges, personal social issues as well. We work in small group settings, taking an active role in pairing students up with other students so they might find support from those other students who are struggling with particular issues. But it's nice to know that a student's got support within that building and knows he's not alone, that other students are experiencing those things.
I'm Ann Matthews. I teach strings at Greenville Middle Academy. I think the most important lesson that I learned as a student is to set high expectations. I had a teacher in high school and he was very, very stern. He was old school, but he expected us to achieve at a very, very high level. He gave us difficult music, and when we looked at him like that, we will never play this. It wasn't would we play this, it's when will we play this. He just taught me by expecting so much from me that I could do more than I thought I could. I've tried to transfer that into my classes. Children are amazing. They can figure out what the minimum is to get by with. And I've tried to teach them that it's a very high level that you're going to get by with in my class so that you're going to really exceed your own expectations.
Hi, I'm Shelley Peak, Robert E. Cashin, 3rd grade. I think that you need to model enthusiasm. If you're not enthusiastic for your profession, for what you're doing, for learning, then you cannot expect your children to be engaged. So that is very important, that when you come in every day, every lesson that you're teaching is just the most fabulous lesson with the most wonderful content ever, and you bring that into the classroom. You need to build a community of learners that are invested in each other, and so they encourage each other along, and that's from the very first day. Project-based learning is another strategy where they're invested in it and they take ownership of their work. Using choice, how are you going to represent your work? That gives them that where they feel more invested in it. Are you going to write a story? Are you going to put on a skit or do a poem? That can't always be done, but when it can, it's a really powerful engagement tool.
I'm Dave Quigley. I teach math and science at Woodmont High School. My whole goal is, as I teach chemistry, as I teach physics, as I teach upper level math, teaching those subjects in isolation is going to benefit no one. I can make a connection to the real world. The real world, if that's language, if the real world is history or politics, that's where the students are going to start really making connections and understanding. Sometimes what we battle in math and science is, why am I doing this? And for me to make a connection with the real world, they start understanding that there is a need for it and there are uses for the complex things that I'm teaching.
Hi, I'm Heather Stedding. I teach 5th grade at Fork Shoals School. I teach all 5 subjects, so there's a lot of different learning opportunities going on in my room. If you were to walk into my classroom during reading, you would see a real-life literacy environment. Students are working in book clubs, talking about them, they're blogging about what they're reading, they're doing literacy activities on the iPad, or they're reading a book of their choice. In science, they're doing hands-on engaging activities cooperatively, or science notebooking that takes their learning to the next level. In social studies, they experience history through primary sources and discussions. And in math, I might pull small groups, manipulatives, direct instruction, or working with individual students to target certain skills. And then we meet as a whole group and we either reflect individually or as a class to finish up our day.
Recognition for outstanding service from your peers is one of the highest honors that any teacher can receive. Now the moment that you've been waiting for. I will first announce the runners-up, then the Greenville County Teacher of the Year. Our third runner-up, Ann Matthews, orchestra teacher, Greenville Middle Academy. Our second runner-up, Kristen Danko, 4th grade teacher, Bells Crossing. And our first runner-up, Heather Stedding, 5th grade teacher, Fork Shoals School. Again, congratulations to each of these three. It's now my pleasure to share with you a little bit about our new Teacher of the Year. This Greenville County Schools educator believes teachers improve their own skills by engaging in real-life lessons, learning teaching strategies that help students become lifelong learners, and setting high expectations that each student will perform to their highest potential. This person believes a teacher's role is to serve as a child's advocate while helping develop them socially, emotionally, and academically. As a literacy leader, this best of the best educator guides and supports fellow teachers to become more effective practitioners in their literacy instruction. Not only does this individual impact more young lives by serving as a teacher mentor, but also helps good teachers become great by helping them implement teaching practices that are conducive to student achievement and accomplishment. This outstanding educator teaches in a fast-paced, energetic manner with high expectations, unwilling to accept failure while challenging students to achieve and believe in themselves. The ultimate goal is that all scholars in her kindergarten classroom will one day receive a college diploma so they may begin to change the world in their own special way. Please join me in congratulating the 15-16 Greenville County Teacher of the Year from Hollis Academy, Shiree Turner Fowler.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much and good morning to you all. It is an honor to be chosen as the 2015-16 Greenville Teacher of the Year. This honor will encourage me to work harder to prove that all students have the ability to be academically successful. It is also a great honor to represent our great Greenville County School District alongside 9 of the most phenomenal educators in our district. I want to take this moment to celebrate you by saying thank you for all that you do for our students each and every day. I first would like to thank my parents who are in Seattle, Frank and Lady Beth Turner, for their love, their sacrifice, and their dedication. I want to thank my wonderful in-laws, Harold and Marshall Fowler, for their support. And thank you to my husband for being my rock, pushing me beyond what I thought was possible for myself and never allowing me to fail. Thank you to Mr. Royster for your tireless advocacy of our teachers and our scholars. Thank you to Sandra Welch and the Teacher of the Year Committee for your commitment to education. To my Hollis family, thank you for supporting and inspiring me every day. To Karen Lake, you work by my side every single day, and thank you for ensuring that our scholars have access to a quality education. And a special thank you to my principal, Mr. Golden, and I call her my other principal, Mrs. Heinbuck. Thank you for encouraging me and allowing me to be the teacher I need to be for my scholars. In the solar system, we can see the beauty and majesty of the moon as it dominates the night sky, but the moon has no light of its own. It is but a reflector of light. So I am here today not because of my own light, but because I am a reflector of the amazing light of my scholars. For this I thank and I love them. There is power in strong relationships. I would like to gently encourage all of my colleagues to begin forming a stronger teacherhood. A teacherhood that would be a community with one common goal, the success of all 73,000 students in our county. Take a vested interest in the academic achievement of students outside of your school. If you see a school in need of improvement in a certain academic area, share your expertise. If you are a school that is in need of improvement in an academic area, connect with schools that are successful in that area. For we as a district reflect all of our students and who they will ultimately become. Thank you and have an amazing year.
In closing, for those of you, especially those of you who are educators, but those of you who support them as well, What you do is more than a job, is more than a career, is more than a profession. It's a calling. It's a calling with a great challenge. The challenge of that calling is you shape the future. You shape our future, and you shape the future of those who pass through your classroom, through the hallways of your school every day. And as evidenced by some of the other comments that you've heard in the program, you sometimes shape that future with the slightest word, act, or deed that may not at that time occur to you, may not in years later even be a memory in your mind, but it's made an indelible impression on the life of an individual. That is a huge challenge. However, I have no doubt that everybody seated in this room has the ability, the commitment, the desire, and will put forth the effort to meet and exceed that which is required to answer that call and that challenge every day for every one of our students throughout the district. I thank you for what you do, whether you teach, you support teachers, or you lead teachers. You're important to every one of our students. You're important to their future. You're important to our future. I thank you for being here today. I thank you for your great support of our Teachers of the Year. And again, I congratulate the best of the best, the Greenville County Teachers of the Year. I hope each of you has an outstanding school year. We're adjourned.